Hey everybody, and welcome to This Week in Mobile. I'm your host, Ashley Sketha, and if I could not make it abundantly clear, when can I get one of those Android dolls? I need one. I don't know about you guys, but I think every household should have one. It's pretty sweet. So this week, as always, Jeff Ammons. You're my left-hand man. Not my right-hand man. I guess you would sort of be my right-hand man because you're across the table from me.
Yeah, but not today.
Yes, Mike Hobbs, as always, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And today in studio with us, we have Ian Sefferman from AppStoreHQ. Thanks for coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
You look fantastic.
Thanks.
It's been a little while. I think you came on
Quite
Android.
early.
Yeah, like right when we were getting going.
I remember that.
So yeah. So Jeff, I'm surprised you haven't smashed the iPhone 4 sitting over there on the table.
I know, it's my willpower. Extreme willpower. I don't know.
And Mike, I have to say I'm impressed. You have instant Apple cred by showing up. How was it? How was the line?
It wasn't bad. It was. I waited about 3 hours.
When did you get there?
In line.
Where was this?
This was at Century City, the Apple Store, Century City. I waited about 3 hours. So I got there at about 6, and I left at about 9:30.
That's not bad.
So it wasn't bad. Yeah. I was happy to. I had a pre-order in though.
Yeah.
So you were
I was
lucky.
in the special line, which still took a while, but the people in the non-reservation line were just
left sadly.
some of them, I'd
empty-handed.
heard some of them had been there for about 12 hours.
Yeah, I'd heard the same thing
That
at the
day,
Santa
which was
Monica
just
store.
12 hours.
Makes me, I wouldn't do that.
No, I wouldn't either.
Not
That
quite.
is just unacceptable.
Yeah.
I have to say, like, when I got my Evo, I kind of thought about how it might be fun to, like, go to Sprint at the early, the early part of the day and, like, go see the pandemonium and, like, live in the moment and everything. And then, man, when we got there at, like, 11:30 to that Radio Shack, there was nobody there. I was like, I want that. And he was like, okay, that's the last one we have. I'm like, great. And that was, like, we went in, we got it done, we left. And it was just so much easier. And it's like, I feel like Danny Glover. I'm like, I'm getting too old for this.
Yeah, I waited an hour and a half for my iPhone 3G, and that was more than enough.
Yeah, I mean, the reality of waiting is just, it's not
painful.
fun. Yeah,
It's
it
painful.
Sucks. It just sucks.
And you have nothing to do. Like, you're looking at your old phone going, I hate this thing. I can't wait to get rid of it. And you don't even want to touch it.
I think the worst part is you finally get to the spot in line where you get your phone, but then you have to sign up for all this shit, and then they, like, do a background check on you, and they, like,
activation,
you gotta know your
Well, see, in this
family,
case,
extended family list. And
if you're doing an upgrade, though, it's pretty fast.
Is it?
As I was, because they disactivated it, or they didn't activate it, but
You just took it home.
they just took it home and activated it.
one of my friends was saying they wanted to know the history of where he'd lived the past 10 years, like, and I was like,
Wow.
you serious? Like, that's creepy shit.
That's weird. That's
Crazy.
AT&T.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's true. Either
well,
way.
yeah.
It's
Like,
like a credit
I always
check,
forget
I
that they
mean.
do,
Yeah.
like, because when I got a cell phone, there was no, like, credit check. I remember that being, like, a special thing at Sprint. That's why, by the way, everybody, that's why I went to Sprint, because they didn't have credit checks. And I went there and I got my phone, and I was like, when I was 16, and I was like, no credit checks and all that stuff. And but yeah, I forget that they do these, like, ridiculous credit checks. And they have, like, deposits. Like, some places require, like, I heard somebody had like $1,000 deposit because their credit was real bad. Oh, that's horrible. It's really horrible.
Yeah.
I feel like having a cell phone is like an unalienable right. Like, it should be in the Constitution. Like, you should have a cell phone. So do we have the unboxing video ready? Like, Mike did a little video about unboxing. It's less than a minute long, but I just figured it would be nice for everybody to see, like, a quick unboxing of our iPhone 4 week. Even though I know Jeff might vomit. Like, there could be some fighting during this video.
I've already seen one unboxed, so.
Yeah, if you've already seen it
I made
unboxed,
it through the first
maybe.
one.
Okay, all right, that's fair. How many have you seen unboxed in the last, like, 24 hours?
Just the one. I've seen like 4, though. No, 5. I know, more than enough.
That's 4 or 5 too many.
Yeah.
Jeff's like, that's just too many.
Yeah, they're all right, I guess.
Okay, so let's just get out of the way. It's the iPhone 4. It's here. So yeah, everyone in the room is like, I want to show everybody. This is one of the. I've got. If we can go to the camera here, we'll go to the screen. You guys can see. Well, sorry, you can see how nice this thing is. It's so thin. This is courtesy of our video guy Derek, and it's really, really tiny. And, you know, don't hold it left-handed because you'll block the antenna receptor. I just want to compare and contrast this to the Evo, which is quite a bit bigger and quite a bit shinier, to be honest. I mean, I really like I really do like the silver accents on the iPhone.
Yeah, I mean,
it looks really slick.
So much better than the old Chrome.
It looks really, really slick. It's we were all talking about this.
It doesn't have a kickstand though.
Does not have a kickstand, unfortunately. It needs
a little. How you make it stand up.
Well, the screen's too small. You wouldn't be able to watch anything.
That's true. Yeah.
Anyway. But
it's not too small.
Yeah.
It's actually super awesome watching videos on there.
Yeah, and this is like I have to say the screen on this, like Ian and I were talking about how it doesn't feel like a phone in your hand. It feels weird because there's no curve whatsoever on the back here. So when you look at it, it's just flat, and then when it's in your hand, it feels to me it feels really unnatural. Like not in a bad way.
I find when I hold it, I'm holding it almost always by the band, the stainless steel band.
You always find it holding the band?
Yeah, and the back doesn't even really touch. My finger's a little different than the old one.
Well, maybe it's because I have giant hands. Maybe that's it.
No, I mean,
do you think we should show like FaceTime? Can we show FaceTime? Oh, we have the unboxing video. Oh, well, let's go to the unboxing video.
What's up this weekend, mobile viewers? This is Mike Hobbs. I'm gonna do an unboxing here of my brand new iPhone 4, which I just picked up. Waited about 3.5 hours in line for this, which wasn't too bad. So as you can see, new box, mostly white with a cool close-up perspective view of the device on the front. Let's take off the lid. There it is, new iPhone 4. Look at this, stone plastic. You can see pretty well there, the VGA front camera. There are the new buttons. New stainless steel band here, which we'll talk about a little bit later. It's the new camera and flash. It's pretty beautiful. Looking forward to digging into this, looking at that Retina display. Here's the paperwork, probably fingertips, a couple of stickers in there, normal stuff. Accessories, looks like completely normal, regular standard headphones. Looks like the same USB that's in the iPad, and then same little AC adapter. So, alright, let's talk about it on the show.
A FaceTime chat. I'm gonna call Bracco.
All right.
Bracco, how many shows is Bracco on?
Bracco's on This Week in Social Media, maybe, and I think one other one.
This Week in Social, yeah, he's like, I mean, he's like a This Weekend staple, Mike Bracco. So we're gonna call him on Face Chat or FaceTime. I keep calling it Face Chat. So we're gonna call him and get the FaceTime going. I'll turn this here as soon as I have him up. Okay. So we hit the FaceTime button, and I'll sort of angle this to where we can sort of see me and see him at the same time.
This is only over Wi-Fi, right?
Yeah, it's only over Wi-Fi and only from iPhone 4 to iPhone 4.
Yeah. See,
hey, there he is. Look at that. So you can see there's me there, and then there's Bracco. How's it going? How are you enjoying your iPhone?
Oh, it's amazing.
You really love it?
I love it. It's a great phone. Yeah, the resolution is, I mean, as everyone said, the resolution is just ridiculous. And also this feature here is pretty cool.
That's pretty fantastic. But we are showing everybody how FaceTime works. It is very, very cool.
Show the little flip thing. Have him flip to the other side.
Oh, yeah. Can you flip to the other side to see what...
So I'll flip to the other side. And you can see where
wow.
It's like their point of view.
So. It's like we're right there with you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty cool how you can switch back and forth from the different camera.
So is this is this a first where we have this on the somebody showing off FaceTime on like a show?
Probably, yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe Fallon beat us to it.
First, yeah.
Damn it.
Damn that Fallon.
I think they did it last
Nobody saw it.
You know what I don't get though?
We have the same size audience.
I had an N800 in like 2004, I think, that had Skype on it and a front-facing video camera.
Yeah.
I don't get what's new about this. It only works over Wi-Fi, so like, how is that special?
There's nothing new about this.
Yeah.
But
front-facing video chat is very much so a part of, like, Europe has had that technology in their phones for a while.
Yeah.
And it's just never really hit mainstream.
Yeah, I think that's what separates this. Is like the first real mainstream push for video calling, and the way they've done it, I think, is smart for the quality of it, the performance of it, limiting it to Wi-Fi and iPhone 4 to iPhone 4 only.
Well, we all know why they can't let it on the network.
It just wouldn't be
There
good.
would be no network.
Yeah, it would. I mean, AT&T would collapse and wither and die
It would be a
yeah,
strain on
just-
anyone's network. I mean, it's not just AT&T. It would be difficult for anyone.
I
to handle
do
a lot
perfectly
of-
fine on Fring on my Evo. Thank you very much, sir.
As good
I
as?
can call Skype. It's very nice.
As smooth as?
Yes.
Is it?
It's I don't like we didn't set up anything, so I don't want to just like randomly start calling people. I might catch my friends in very uncompromising positions. But you know, I just like it's really nice. It's really smooth. If I have a strong 3G signal, it's like if I put one bar. I mean, it's not going to be as good. But if I have a strong 3G, it's great. Like I really like it.
How's the connection seem on that? Is it comparable? Better?
You're talking about the cell phone reception. I can't tell yet because I had where I lived. I had great reception anyway, so it's no worse.
You're right here in San Marcos, so
It's always, I've always had.
I've heard
5 bars.
mixed reports from people.
Well, I've heard both. I mean, I've heard,
better and worse.
that it's better, and then obviously it has the weird.
Well, let's get into the
issue.
news, and more so. I mean, this is obviously news for the week, but there's more stuff about the iPhone that people are talking about. Like, for example, the white iPhone is actually not available until the second half of July, and I know a lot of people are really excited about getting a white iPhone. This is like a big deal. They finally have it in 2 colors, and like for the fashionista set out there, like people like to have white iPhone. Apple said that the white model of the iPhone 4 was proving more challenging to produce than the black model. And then later on Gizmodo, somebody, an unnamed source came forward and said that actually the white on the iPhone is not painted, it's screen printed. I cannot say who I am, as Apple does have a non-disclosure in effect for this, but the color specifications for the white on the new iPhones are just crazy. The tolerances they're trying to achieve with the white really is the cause of the delay. As screen printing goes, it's somewhat controllable. It is somewhat controllable, and it doesn't have the tolerance that Apple's wanting to hold the color specification of the white to. So apparently it's like a screen printing issue. They're not seeing the white that they want to see.
Steve's not happy with the white.
Yeah, Steve Jobs is definitely.
Not happy with
Come
the
on,
white.
where's our? Pay
You
attention,
should say it
studio crew. There we
angrily.
go.
There he is.
There we go.
We have Steve Jobs as our. We have lots of new toys for the show this
right.
week. So I guess there you have it. Like screen printing, insanely high color specifications for the white phones from an unnamed source, but still seems pretty plausible to me.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
It seems like it makes sense. And then and the other thing that I saw this week, and you actually sent this to me, Mike, was you think you can't scratch the iPhone, but not true. So not true.
Yeah, you can scratch it. There have been scratches have been reported on the
And
on the back.
photos?
There have
Back
been
of the phone.
photos of little scratches
I
showing
think I
up
saw
on
a
the back.
shattered one on the back.
Yeah, and then they're shattering videos.
The question is,
too.
though, it's like the Nalgene water bottles. They say are unbreakable. And my friends have been like, oh, no, I broke one. And I'm like, oh, how'd you do that? I'm like, well, I filled it up with something.
And then I ran it over with a car.
Yeah, and then I threw it off this
Smashed it.
30-foot cliff onto these rocks. And like, oh, okay.
And it broke.
So you
And
hit
it's-
your phone with a hammer and it broke. Okay.
Yeah. Would you mind if we did a pen test on your
Oh,
phone
go
and just
ahead.
try?
No, you know what?
scared.
I'm sure that it will survive any reasonable impact or level of, and I'm sure it's much more scratch resistant than if it was just made of plastic.
Yeah.
Or something
Yeah.
like this.
So the lefty issue, big deal this week. Apparently, for those of you not playing along at home with the iPhone game this week, apparently the antenna banding, which is a new thing,
Yep.
which goes all the way around the outer rim of the phone.
Got 2 antennas, one for the
One for 3G, one for
one for
Wi-Fi.
3G and one for the Wi-Fi. That's right.
So apparently, Apple, did they not consider this? Did they not notice it? I'm just not sure how that works, but there have been a lot of reports that if you hold the phone in your left hand as opposed to your right hand, you end up blocking the bottom. It's the bottom left.
Yep.
It's the bottom left of the phone.
Well, I think what people
Which
are
is right in there.
theorizing is that if you're somehow bridging these 2 separate antennas somehow with your left hand here, a couple
You're
like
missing-
this, it
you're
will
not getting-
degrade the signal.
Well, and they were saying, like, with the bumper, conveniently with the $29 Apple bumper on the phone, people don't have that problem.
Right.
And Steve Jobs was quoted, he wrote back to a person who was upset about this and said, just don't hold it that way. Like, that was the answer that he
And
gave
that's what
them.
she said.
Yeah, just don't hold it. And that's what she said. We need to have
Whatever they did.
instead of a Jobs, we should get one. We should get a graphic that's like, that's what she said. It should be like a little stamp. So yeah, have you seen that?
Yeah, I mean,
or-
I tried obviously last night after I'd gotten it and activated it. I was trying holding it different ways to see if I could get the bars to go down, and I couldn't.
You couldn't do it.
Unfortunately, for
Couldn't
me.
replicate the problem.
I couldn't replicate the
I've
issue.
seen it replicated. One of my friends has perfected the problem of
How did-
breaking
how did he
it.
do
yeah. He was just holding it like basically like this. And
So
for some
straight up
reason,
and down the phone?
For some reason, covering like this part of the phone with the palm of his hand. He said it might have to do with moisture was one thing he was thinking, because if you're doing that, so that might make sense. But the thing that really kind of pissed him off, even being the Apple fanboy he is, it was Steve Jobs' response to it.
Yeah, just don't hold it that way.
Yeah. There you go. I was waiting for that. Yeah, basically saying like you're holding your phone on.
He's like a scary ghost.
Like, it's like, come on, Jobs. Like, you got to do a better job than.
You didn't say you're holding it wrong. You just said don't hold it that way.
He said don't hold it that way. Yeah.
But it's just so like. Don't hold it. Like, what? Like, I just... That
I mean, it's strange. I mean, surely that had come up in testing. They had noticed that at some point.
Maybe nobody's left-handed at Apple. Maybe you are not allowed to be
the one theory I heard was that
the
one guy, the guy who accidentally left his phone in the bar was left-handed and he got fired. So they ran out of left-handed.
They ran out of left-handed testers.
That was the theory.
That sounds...
So,
I heard that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're moving on from the iPhone, although it's very nice. And,
although, wait, we didn't get to talk about. I just wanted to say that talk about the display.
Okay, go ahead.
Because having seen the Retina display for the first time, for real, it really is amazing. I mean, it's like I really haven't seen anything quite like it on a device.
Now, we were talking about, like I said, I wanted to show it on the show.
Yeah, I tried to make a video comparing the two, but I just wasn't able to get close enough to really discern. Really, to make it read on camera.
Yeah, it's kind of hard like to reproduce video quality with video, because what if someone's...
It's lower. It's
exactly.
compressed anyway, so... Yeah. But it really is amazing when you see it.
I think the most impressive graphic I saw was actually like a zoomed-in, like microscopic view of the LEDs from the different phones. Mm-hmm. These ones are like a quarter the size of like...
They're just so tiny.
3GS. Yeah, so...
So, okay, well, I'm really glad that you like it. It's a screen. I really am. It's just I told you the other day, like when you were getting it, I was like, I know that feeling of lusting after a shiny new toy for like 8 weeks, and then you finally have it in your hand, and you're just like, oh my god, it's finally here. Like, I've waited so long, and then like the very next day, you're like, oh look, it's a new thing. So speaking of new things, the Droid X was announced earlier this week. Yeah, thank you. You like that? You like that transition? Mm-hmm. The Droid X was announced on Wednesday. It's a Verizon phone. It is a 1 gigahertz OMAP processor, which I know a lot of people were speculating on whether or not it was going to be a gigahertz or not, and whether or not they were going to use Snapdragon. So OMAP, 8 megapixel camera, Skype integration, wireless, tethered hotspot functionality, but it's an extra $20 a month. 3 microphones, which I thought this was really interesting. It's not really something that people tend to talk about a lot, but like I personally think this is really cool. They have an outward-facing mic for video, a noise-canceling mic, and a regular mic for your phone calls. And I think that's something that seems so obvious to put into a phone, but we've never really seen done correctly. Like, and I really like that they're doing that.
Yeah. Well, it remains to be seen if they've done it correctly or not.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I'm guessing it's going to be pretty good. Motorola seems to do a good job.
Yeah. And it's actually going to be running on what they're calling Ninja Blur, which is Moto Blur, which people hated, like largely hated. Mm-hmm. There's some people who really like it, and good for you. But, Ninja Blur, it's supposed to be, like, I've heard good things. I haven't had a hands-on with a phone yet. Verizon, go ahead and send one. And but they are definitely talking about Ninja Blur is much better in terms of interface than Moto Blur. So, because Moto Blur just got really, it was not good. Like, I'm sorry, I did not care for Moto Blur.
I never tried either one.
Yeah.
Ninja Blur sounds pretty awesome, though.
Anything with ninjas.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
although
really,
that makes me a little skeptical. Like, what marketing department came up with the Ninja Blur?
Well, they haven't even officially named it that.
Oh,
like,
okay.
it's just like that's what people are calling because it's under the radar.
Got it.
Like, it's very like undercover.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense then.
Yeah. So and yeah, see the OMAP processor they're saying is actually better than the Snapdragon because it's better scaling graphics processor. So a while back we had talked about on the show how the Droid actually performed better than like the Incredible. With 3D games, and even with a lesser processor, and that's why the OMAP processor is really, really, really great for 3D games, anything that requires that level of processing, which is really cool. So it looks like it's coming out mid-July, which is right around the time the white Evo comes out. If you are still in the market for an Evo and you haven't found one yet, which a lot of people are not finding them, you can get a white Evo in July 14th, something like that. Okay, so in more Android news, this is exciting for me. Froyo is officially released. Source code is available. It is out. It is done. It is available on the Nexus 1. It's being rolled out right now. If you have a Nexus 1, go out and get you some 2.2. Hopefully, we'll start seeing other phones upgrading ASAP.
Yep, it's supposed to be July for the Moto Droid, yeah.
For the Droid, which is yours.
Yep.
You have a Droid. And then Droid, but they're saying Droid X is not going to be until August because of Moto. Yeah, because of Ninja Blur. So, I definitely, that's exciting. Because now phones are finally, I think we're going to start seeing the catch-up process. And I know that Sprint had said that they want to get it on the Evo as soon as possible.
Well, the sweetest thing is the speed increase, I think. Because you're going to go like a double or even greater than that speed increase on your phone and without any hardware change. That's awesome.
Do you what are some of the features you're looking forward to in 2.2?
That's really the biggest one for me, is just having speedier, snappier response
Biggest
time.
one for me, auto update on market apps. You can automatically update.
Yeah, that actually, every time I update something on my phone, I'm like,
I get so tired. Well, where's my update all button?
Where is it?
It's just killing me.
Yeah,
so I really great. And I know that there's already on XDA developers forum, there's already people working on ROMs, hacks. They're working on every imaginable kind of phone. So if your phone doesn't have a likely chance of seeing 2.2, if you have a G1 hanging around, or if you've got maybe an older Android that might take a long time to get upgraded, you might want to look into that if you choose to root your phone. Your mileage may vary. Please do not please do not come here and kill me if you break your phone. Please note. Okay, and then in more I want to talk about this Evo issue. Android and me, I don't have this on the rundown, but Android and me put up this story about how the Evo screens are actually different in the different build models. There's 002, 0002, and 0003. And the guy had gotten his Evo on launch day, and his friend got one a few days ago, and he went and picked it up for him. And then he looked at them, and the screens were amazingly different. Huh. The brightness levels were different, and it was just night and day. The earlier, the 0002 version was just so much richer and just more developed. The color was brighter. The screen was brighter. It was amazing. It had more of almost a pinkish hue to it. Generally speaking, so minuscule. But the other one had more of a bluish tint to it. So it made it look a little bit duller, and it was. It just didn't look as vibrant and as cheerful and bright. And I'm not exactly sure why that's happening.
My guess would be, with the Incredible, we had the problem where they were running out of screens. That was why they were so backed up on their things. So my guess is they saw that coming, and they just started pumping out as many screens.
They started going with another screen manufacturer.
Yeah. They had to use two.
That'd be my guess.
Well, I think it was pretty clear. They were the first screens, the good ones, were made by Novatel. Yeah. And then the second ones were, Epson sourced panels, which obviously weren't as good color-wise.
Now that they put them next to, Yeah, see, and one of our Twitter followers, GamerCore, had mentioned HTC's using a different company for the screens, like you say. Yeah. And it's very much so, it's very, I don't know, unacceptable to me. It's just, that's a quality control issue, but it just seems weird to me to be well, I don't see a huge difference. Let's just send it out and see if anybody notices. Yeah, see, and Fathom in our chat room is it stopped me from getting my Evo, and that's exactly what's going to happen. People are going to say, I don't want a lesser version of the phone I want.
Yeah, if they think there's one that's slightly inferior, that's going to hurt all of them.
And if you got one launch day and there's something wrong with it, you are not going to want to take it back now. Because you're just I got to keep this one. Please fix it at all costs. I'm begging you. So, okay, next story. Slingplayer is now out for Android, which is really cool. It's $30 a month, which will set you back some change. I feel like that's the most expensive Android app by $10. So I've never I can't even fathom a world in which we see Android apps for that much money. But you're able to control, record, watch TV on the go from your Slingbox, which is really cool. I have a friend who has it who scared the hell out of his girlfriend. She was at home and he was using it at home. He was rewinding and changing channels and stuff, which I thought was great. But any of you guys have Slingbox at home? You don't? No.
I don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't watch TV.
I'm never home.
So I'm never
I
away
would
to
watch.
watch.
Maybe I should get Slingbox. Yeah, maybe then I can, you can access your live TV, your DVR shows. I mean, it's so great for
cool.
somebody for someone like me who sits in traffic. I could watch.
So can you watch over 3G?
I believe so. Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, you can just access your Slingbox anywhere on the go, and
That's pretty sweet.
If you have got to watch something on your TV when you're out.
that is really interesting. Fathom again in our chat room saying, I hear that Sling won't allow use of the JIT compiler, which is a huge part of 2.2. So I wonder if that's true. You know what? We will research that for you, and I will try to let you know next week if that's true. I'll send out some angry emails. So I love this story. More Android news. Remember when we were talking a few weeks ago about how Google needed something like iTunes? Like basically Double Twist was the only option that was out there as a third-party syncing program device, whatever, and sort of was integrated into the Amazon Music Store. You can kind of get stuff from there, and it was kind of weird, but works well enough. But like not nearly the level of integration that iTunes has. Well, Google is fixing that. They are supposedly looking to set up a music store later this year, according to unnamed sources who are blabbing, which we love. Feel free to blab it up, to CNET and the Wall Street Journal. And it's really syncs up perfectly with Google's demonstration of Gingerbread, which is 2.3, coming out later this year, like late this year. And their demo was they had the wireless syncing to your music, to your servers and everything, basically giving users a fully functional battle station for their Android phone. It's a must for Google. They just have to do this. This is the logical next step. It makes music streaming even more exciting, I think. And I think that Google seems to be looking at the holes that they have when they compare themselves to somebody like Apple and say, we got to fill those holes now. We need to get people on it. We need to fill those holes, like the legacy / fragmentation issue. They're like, okay, we got to fill that hole. Now we're going to start going to once-a-year updates. Okay, now we're going to do this. Now we're going to do this. Now we're going to do this. And so I just wanted to mention this Mashable article written by Christina Warren, who wrote something really interesting in terms of where this might be going, which her quote in here is, Google's plan, it seems, is to launch a download service first, one that is tied to the company's search engine, and then to progress to an online subscription service by 2011. The ultimate goal is to have a cloud-based subscription service that could stream directly to Android-based devices. Think about it. If your Android-based Google TV can also stream any music you want to your home stereo, that then becomes an Apple TV without limiting users to their own libraries. Also, what about the automobiles with Android embedded systems? Those products aren't on the market, but manufacturers are interested. Having the ability to access a streaming subscription from your car, your home, and your phone could make a Google-branded music subscription service succeed where so many others have failed. I really love the idea of easily, cheaply making that subscription service available.
Yeah. Well, really tying it into your phone is the first key point. If they can do that, then they pretty much got it. If I could get something to sync my phone or with my phone automatically when I bought new stuff or whatever, that would be kind of the point.
Yeah.
I don't care about all this stuff getting stuff in your car or whatever.
Well, but here's the thing. If you're able to wirelessly access your whole entire media library, or if you pay a $10 extra service fee for let's just say for your data plan, through your cell phone, and you're able to plug that into your car and say, okay, I now want to access my entire music library in my car without actually having to sync it to my phone. That's invaluable to me. Because I don't have time to sync my phone. I do drag and drop. I don't even sync. Yeah. I'm just drag and drop, just put it all in there.
So here's another way of approaching this problem, which is just awesome in my opinion. So I recently just got a new Ford Fusion, which has Microsoft Sync on it. And what's amazing about it is that I can play all of my music on my iPhone over Bluetooth to the car, which is sweet.
I have that on my Droid actually in my car as well.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Yeah,
I love that. And that's just another way to tackle the auto sync all of your media.
Yeah. And that's awesome. I feel like that's such a big, if you could, because I know you have an iPod in your car, if you could just wirelessly sync your your library that's in your apartment to your car. I mean, you can't beat that.
Well, no, I mean, that's something that's a weakness now, I think, of, iTunes itself, is that you have to sync everything. I mean, if you, let's say I buy a song on my iPad, then if I want to get onto the iPhone, I have to sync my iPad to my Mac and then the phone to the Mac. Yeah. It should just be up in a cloud somewhere. I should have access to it at any time, which is, I think, what Google is going to try to do, and they might beat Apple to that. But I'm sure Apple has a similar idea.
I'm sure they do.
But, subscription-based services, they're interesting. I like them, but I'm just wondering at long term if they're able to get enough studio support. I mean, you subscribe to a music service and you just get how much music you want every month. How do artists get paid in these models?
Well, with Google, I think Google has the ad power to do it. If there's one company, I think, that has the ad power to pay proper royalties to musicians, artists, whatever, it's Google. Yeah. Like Google and obviously iTunes. Like I really think.
Yeah, but they're also shrewd, and they don't just throw money away.
Well, Apple TV.
Google?
Both.
Yeah.
They're pretty shrewd. So.
I mean, yeah, but I think that there's something to be said for having enough money to really...
To try to do it.
Yeah, to really go out there and push it. Like we talked about Microsoft, like basically strong-arming their way to the video game industry with money. They just threw money at the Xbox until it was successful. Same type of thing. Yeah, best part of Google services, free. And that's the big thing. It will likely be either extremely cheap or free. And that's a huge deal for users. Huge deal.
I mean, the Google services being free is like them hosting all of your data, all of your content, or the subscription-based music services?
I don't know. Free? Maybe both. Maybe if you have an Android device, and you have a Google account, then it's free. It's all ad supported. Because they don't make money off of me paying for my pittance of $5 every month or whatever on some service.
Yeah,
that's why they make all of these services. That's why they make documents or whatever, because it's all ad supported. They make so much money off those ads. Okay, so we're going to move on from Android. That was a lot.
That's probably a good idea.
There's some Android. I have a couple more Android things, like for Epic Win, we have an Android thing. But so if you're a WebOS user, if you still have a Palm Pre or a Pixie, you'll probably want to know that pretty much every app in the WebOS catalog is now half price. So go out there, buy you some apps, even the really expensive ones, all half price. So if you're out there using a Palm Pre or
that's nice. It sounds kind of. It reminds me of the days when the video game market crashed and you could get like a bag full of 2,600 cards for like $5.
Yeah,
it's like the end times.
Depressing. Yeah, it's like end times.
It's like end times.
I know, yeah. See, the HP Palm merger's a go, so I have faith that they will bounce back.
Yeah, you have faith that HP is going to turn them into something great. They've lost two of their great UI people.
Four. They've lost four. They lost the guy to Twitter. They lost the guy to they lost the guy to Twitter. They lost
Matthias.
Duarte over to Android. They lost the notifications guy to Apple.
Don't know his name, but
they're just losing a whole bunch of people.
Who's eating the cost of this? Is Palm just going to take the difference out of the price, or the developers getting cut too?
I don't know. Probably developers. Yeah. I don't know. The UI is so nice, and I really do truly wish that Palm brings out something that is super competitive with what we see in like the Evo, the iPhone 4. I mean, I really do, because it's a great interface.
Yeah. It's getting crowded.
It is getting crowded. And I mean, including WebOS, we also have Symbian and now Migo, which is going to be coming out. But if you're a diehard Symbian fan and you're looking to upgrade to Migo at some point, you can actually buy the best Nokia phone or Symbian phone on the market for cheap, unlocked. You can get an N900 right now for $369, which is like a couple $100 cheaper than an Evo off contract.
They're pretty cool. I've seen one.
They're nice.
Yeah, it looks slick.
Don't have any problems with them. I'm very curious to see what Migo turns out to be later. I want to see, because Symbian is kind of, to me, like neither here nor there. Like I'm just like, I can do without it. Like I can't. I love Android. I love WebOS. Like iPhone 4, I don't really care for. But
you don't like iOS 4.
For me, it's just like the icons are just, to me, I don't like the icon layout. I don't like the UI design.
You'd like to have a big clock and a weather thing on the.
No, I don't have a weather thing. I don't have any of that. This is my home screen. It's nothing.
Clock.
It's that. It's in my home screen, a clock, 4 things that I commonly use. That's it. Nothing else. I have nothing else on my phone. I don't like it cluttered.
Your phone does 4 things.
No, and that's the point. You open it up, and and then you go to your other stuff, and you have everything all lined up. You have your agenda.
Also,
I mean, so much easier.
I'm seeing icons. I'm seeing icons.
You know what? I'm going to use my phone to hypnotize you, and you're going to shut up.
It's icons, and I don't know. There's not much else you can do.
No,
icons
that's not true.
And widgets.
That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I'm not even gonna entertain that.
Okay.
So your mic's like,
we have widgets.
Oh. Yeah, we have widgets. I mean, I like all these things.
Yeah,
that
I look at my lock screen is sad, but other than that,
it's the UI design. It's not necessarily the UI. I mean, iOS 4 is fine. It's just the design. I don't like it. I'm not a big fan.
You don't like rows of icons.
No, I like having a weird spiral of doom on my background.
Well,
that's the background.
You're talking about the background.
And the icons are they're ugly. They're so boring.
But they're all. Some of them look nice. Some of them
they're all
ugly.
Uniform. They're also ugly though.
What do you mean uniform? Does it mean the same size?
Move them around.
Yeah, I don't
move
know.
them around.
Do you have a view all? Like
it's just so
view
depressing.
All your,
yeah, and you have like a list view, like where you can list all your, how many pages of icons you have after folders? You have how many?
1.5
pages? 1.5. You were at 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so I have 4 pages of apps. That's the most
that's
ridiculous
over.
thing.
Those days are done.
Why can't I just push a button and see it? No. No. Okay, I'm moving on. No.
We'll continue this later.
Yeah, we're gonna continue this conversation later. We're gonna continue this conversation later over alcohol, and I'm gonna win. Nope. So the N8 is actually on a Nokia. The N8 is gonna be the final Symbian device in the N series. So from here on out, it's all MeeGo. Just so everybody knows. I know you guys were all really excited to hear that.
I'm intrigued
the
by
N8
MeeGo.
actually looks pretty cool.
MeeGo. I'm very curious about MeeGo.
I mean, it's their big.
The N900 is great. It's really this big, giant phone.
It is pretty giant.
It is.
All right, we're going to get into epic win, epic fail. We don't have a graphic yet, but I am sure when it's done, it will be epic.
Yes.
Because we like to use the word epic here. So we have this video, and it shows off more of what can be done with Android. And I just think that I won't spoil it for you because it really speaks for itself. Do we have the video ready? Let's roll this video. There's no sound.
Oh, sad.
Growing concern. Are they playing music or something?
Okay, so what we're looking at, we don't have sound, but what we're looking at is, okay, so this guy has an Android app that he has created, and it's set up with the accelerometer, and then you can see the cables coming down here, and it's connected to this, and the green lights, by the way, come in handy in a second. You'll see that when he comes over to this little slot car racetrack, he's going to set up his slot car on the track. I'm really good at I'm play-by-play. I got play-by-play going. He's going to set up his car on the track, and then so here's his gas pedal, and then when he pushes it forward, car goes. I think this is so amazing to me. It's like I'm like woo. And the lights get green as you push the pedal farther down. And he created this rubber band system right here to actually give like tension on the phone. So like he slides his Nexus One in here. And he's like, all right, I made myself this little like mock gas pedal, and it has a little bit of give, and he pushes it down like a gas pedal, and there goes his car. Whee!
Why didn't you step on it?
I know that would be what you would do.
That is wacky.
You would smash it. But yeah, it's just so rad. Like it's just such a cool thing that can be done with Android. Like, why don't you need to start building stuff like this?
I'm not smart enough to do that.
Why can't you build us a little slot car track on the table that we can just play with? Like,
Well, we can
I think
do
it's
that.
so much
People
fun.
can just watch us like
Have slot
switch our
car races.
phones. Yeah,
Woo! Okay, so now epic fail. Like, where do I even begin? So Samsung just named one of their new messaging phones, and I don't even know what to call it. It's a smiley emoticon. It's this colon parenthesis.
Yeah.
Closing parenthesis. Okay, so first off, Samsung, how the hell am I supposed to pronounce that? And like, I guess some people in the media are calling it the Samsung smiley. And secondly, you're about 10 to 12 years too late to capitalize on the whole emoticons are cool and trendy thing. Some media outlets, they think it's fine. I don't. I think it's fail. So much fail.
I can just see a boardroom full of 60-year-old people going about it like, what do kids like these days? Oh, they all talk in these smiley faces.
Yes. I got it. Let's call it the smiley. Like, let's make it, no words. And Prince was also in the boardroom. He's like, let's make it a symbol. Like, and it's just, you want my advice, Samsung? Like, we're going to introduce right now for the first time, this is a This Week in Mobile exclusive, the new Samsung phone, the Samsung Lolcat. Yeah, right there. Samsung Cat loves Android. Oh, hi. So that's me. I made that for you, Samsung. You're going to have that free of charge.
That's clever. Kids like little cats, right?
Yeah, epic fail. So epic fail. So that's it for the news of the week. I know it took a while. We were talking about
important things.
We're talking about iPhone
Steve Jobs,
things.
if you will.
Yes. He's here to kill us. So let's get rocking with our interview of the week. This week, Ian Sefferman, co-founder of AppStoreHQ, second-time visitor to the show. Our interview of the week is AppStoreHQ, which is a tool to help find apps across Android, iPhone, and iPad mobile platforms on the web. So it's through a mobile browser.
Yep, it's all browser-based. Basically, the gist of it is we're exposing more vectors to discover new apps for users. One thing that we do is we follow all of the big blogs, tech blogs and iPhone blogs, Android blogs, and we sort of automatically read what they're talking about, what apps they're talking about, and then we'll use that to compile lists of what are the hottest apps being talked about right now. Cool. And then we actually do the same type of thing that we're tracking Twitter. So you can just see, what are people talking about in general on Twitter. So we have these hottest lists. Those are a big deal for us. We also just have sort of this general secret sauce that includes hottest lists. And we think that for better or worse, iTunes and Android Market have pretty poor discovery mechanisms. So we just try to build better mechanisms on top of that. And we started with iPhone only. We added Android recently, a couple months ago. That shot up, so now we're actually iPhone, Android, and iPad, as well as mobile web apps.
Okay, very cool.
So your list, are those done more or less by hand?
Everything is automated. So there's very little editorial content. So it's based on for instance, for the hottest list in terms of blogs, we have a mechanism to go out and find out, how authoritative is this source. So, for instance, TechCrunch would be very authoritative. And then we use that as part of the input to determine, how many points are we going to assign this blog for a particular post about an app?
Weight.
A weight. Yep, exactly. And then we add all those together, and that also decays over time, so you get fresh stuff coming in. And we do it that way. And then same thing with Twitter. We if you're following 10,000 people but you only have one follower, you're just a spammer.
Right.
So you get no points, no weight in our book. But if vice versa,
you're no weight. I follow 10 million people.
So cool.
Very neat.
It's interesting. Like, since last time we had you on, I've been looking at other app internet sites because I never really thought about it before. Then I started poking around. But what is it exactly that? Is it your algorithm that makes you guys unique? Do you have any other features?
So there's a couple things that I like to think of when I think of what differentiates us, and one is the secret sauce, which is the hottest list, how we present search results, sort of the whole review thing, watching reviews across the web and aggregating that stuff, and then the other side that I like to think of is our focus on developers. So we have this whole side to finding the best apps for users, but then we also expose a bunch of metrics and tools for developers to create and promote and support their apps. So we have things where you can contact a developer. If you come in, you can claim your app page. We also have developer pages, and so you can claim your developer page. And then if you have a problem with your app, you can come through us, and we can hand that over to the developer if they're there. We give them information about how many views and search results they're seen in. And then on the iPhone side, we also own iPhonedevSdk.com, which is like a large iPhone developer forum. So we help them out on that side as well.
Very cool. I know that I use AppStoreHQ to find a lot of the developer contact info for App of the Week. Because it's so hard. I mean, some of the apps, the names of them are very not necessarily generic, but they're words that you see in everyday language. So to look it up online, you're just like, I have no idea what I'm looking at. And like some people are just one person.
Right.
And so to find them, to be able to have contact information is so helpful. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. So you're talking about mobile web apps in comparison to normal apps. Can you explain the benefits of mobile web apps?
Yeah, so mobile web apps is something that we're just getting into right now, and so actually one of the reasons I want to talk is about mobile web apps is that we're testing out. So I'm personally a big believer in mobile web apps. This is like HTML5 apps, right? Mm-hmm. And I think over the long term, what we're going to see is sort of this. There's always going to be a place for native apps, right? Especially games that are using, a lot of graphics, a lot of accelerometer stuff. That's probably all going to be better native. Mm-hmm. But there's going to be a lot of people who are, especially developers, who are interested in creating their apps HTML5, and HTML5 will allow them, automatic distribution on all sorts of platforms, iPhone, Android, that type of stuff. But when you think about what made app stores win, the two things that in my dealings with developers that we hear over and over again is distribution and monetization. So the first is being able to get your app to a lot of people quickly. Yeah. And that's distribution, and that's a massive thing that you get
exposure
with iTunes, right? Yeah. And Android Market. And then the second one is monetization. And so I'm a former Amazonian. And at Amazon, Jeff Bezos used to like to talk about Amazon Web Services as the muck, right? When you start a mom and pop store, you don't go in saying, okay, I have to find out how to get my electricity. You just call up the electric company and you say, hook me up. Right. And so Jeff thought about this in terms of servers and storage, and he said, developers shouldn't have to figure out how to store files. They should just call us up. And so monetization in the mobile app space was muck for developers, right? It made it really easy for developers to say, just charge them 99 cents and then I'll make money. Mm-hmm. And so in my opinion, in order for mobile web apps to sort of take a real foothold, we need to figure out the distribution and monetization problems. And so that's what we're actually doing at AppStoreHQ now. So we're in a very early test of it, and we're actually just testing sort of internal apps where we have distribution. We're at millions of unique visitors per month, so we have some sort of scale. Mm-hmm. And now we have a super simple one REST API call that allows developers to hook into our system for us to charge the users. And so if you want to have your mobile web app cost 99 cents or whatever, you can just say, AppStoreHQ, I want 99 cents, and then we go out, and when a person clicks buy on our website, it sends them over, we get their payment info if we don't have it, and then it immediately passes you off to the app, and then the app's good to go. Mm-hmm. So that's sort of the overview of where I think mobile web apps is going.
Very cool. I'm just always fascinated by the idea of mobile web apps because they've come up so fast, so quickly. A large part due to Apple, mm-hmm. Getting away from Java, getting away from not Java.
Even the Safari work that
Flash.
they've done with WebKit and everything is fantastic.
Right. So I'm very impressed with how much pull they have, I guess, in terms of really pushing that to the forefront. Because I don't think I think it would have really developed a lot slower.
Absolutely.
Had Apple been just we'll probably support Flash at some point.
And people, users in particular, are really accepting of mobile web apps. So one of the ways that we sort of tried to determine if this was a feasible thing was I created a Foursquare client, just all a simple API client on top of Foursquare. All you can do is check in, and I made it in HTML5, used their APIs, and then I put it out on the web, and I put it on AppStoreHQ and charged 99 cents for it. And so this is an app that is a competitor, a worse feature set, and a competitor of a free product, right? That costs 99 cents. And so I didn't really expect anybody to buy this. It was more of a proof of concept. Mm-hmm. And what's amazing is that I get somewhere between 1 and 5 purchases of this app every single day, and across a lot of different platforms. So iPhone and Android are obviously the two biggest ones.
Right.
But then we see Nokia, we see all sorts of different platforms coming across, and we also see a pretty wide distribution geographically. across a lot of countries. So users are really open to HTML5 apps, which is a very positive sign for them.
Oh yeah, well, and for you guys, and for developers.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So in terms of AppStoreHQ as a concept, as a website, a couple of things about what's going on with you guys in the future. You guys have a couple of things coming up in the future, and then I know a question that I've heard asked is, are there any plans to revamp the UI of the site? Like, are there any plans to really kind of bring it in line with what we've seen in terms of search engines?
Yeah. So UI is a great question. It's a top focus for us right now. We've been out there for about 15, 16 months or so, and when we started, it was just me as a developer. About 7 months into it, we hired our first developer, also back-end, so him and I are not the most graphically oriented people.
Right.
About a month ago, we hired our first front-end guy, who's just slowly chomping away.
I saw some changes like earlier this week, right?
Exactly, yeah. So over the next month to 2 months, I think we're going to see massive UI changes that, I would always call UX a differentiating factor, and I think that we've lagged behind competitors.
Yeah. Well, at least you're honest.
Yeah, so it's a priority for us, and we will be doing work there.
Very cool. Is there anything else coming up for you guys that you want to talk about? Like, are you super excited? You want to just mention anything?
So I have stuff I'm super excited about. I'm not ready to talk about it, but I will say that we are extremely interested in both mobile web apps and Android in particular.
Very cool.
So I would expect things along those horizons.
Very, very cool. You guys have any questions? You always have good ones in terms of development.
I'm spent.
You're spent?
It's Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday. I know. It's so everybody out there who is watching, when it's Friday and we're just done. I feel so bad. If you have questions, feel free to send them to our chat room, because we are idiots by Friday. By the time Friday, you guys are so sharp in the chat room. I have to be honest, I am so impressed with you guys on a weekly basis. You guys are just on it. You've got great questions and insights and all these things, and I'm just my brain is deep fried ice cream by the time we get to Friday. So it's just terrible. So maybe I need to drink more caffeine. Yeah. Maybe I should have a giant coffee or something, lots of caffeination.
I just imagine all of you laying out in hammocks out in the backyard with the laptop, typing.
Yeah, that's exactly that's what I do all week. That's exactly. I have Corona with lime, and I just sit there and I make the rundown, and then I pass out on my computer. It's just really that's my life. That's what I do as a host. I just thought. How do you feel about the changing landscape of the mobile app market, and also do you think that apps will ever change to a subscription-based model?
So, changing landscape, I think one of the sort of theses that we went into building this company was, we think mobile is going to be big. I think that was a pretty safe bet, right?
Yeah.
But we didn't know how. We thought it was going to change a lot over the next 3 to 5 years. So what we did was we were like, let's just start building something. Let's pivot, and that's sort of been our thesis all along. So mobile app landscape changing, I think, is just it's a given. I don't know how it's going to happen. My personal opinion is I think we're going to see Android come up, but I also think we're going to see more fragmentation in terms of platforms rather than less fragmentation. Right now, I think we're headed towards an iPhone and Android world, but I don't think that's how it's actually going to end up. Mm-hmm. My guess is there's going to be more than 2 players. And I don't think RIM's going to give up easily. I don't think Microsoft's going to give up easily.
Yeah. Palm, Microsoft. No one's going to give up easily. Right. Because it's such there's been such a push toward, and it will continue to do this, there's been such a push toward your cell phone becoming the hub of your life. You use your phone to access your desktop, to access your music, to access, everything, your GPS system. It is your calendar, it's your life. And people don't have landlines anymore. This is, little by little, people are shedding the things that they can now do on their phones. And it's just, and JPROS says cell phone will be the hub. No more PCs. It will, as long, iPad is just the beginning of this with tablets. it's going to be, we're going to literally see our phones become our lives.
Yep.
I mean, and mine already is. I would die without my phone. I leave my phone at home and I start to panic because I don't know what's happening. I'm like, I could be late for something and I don't know. It is frightening. It is. Like, have you ever, you leave your phone somewhere? It's
panic.
Terrifying. It's like you feel useless, and that's horrible. It says something absolutely awful about our society. Nope. That I panic whenever I leave my cell phone at home. But,
but to that point, and to what Ian was saying about fragmentation, then you're going to have, as important as these phones are, 4 very different operating systems and different development, really very different development environments. It's going to be a huge pain for everyone. I mean, dealing with Windows and Mac was one thing. Is it good? I mean, really, do developers want to have to...
Well, I think that's where HTML5 comes in.
Right, that's where the mobile web apps.
Yeah, but I mean, that's where you get innovation, is when there's people...
When there's platforms competing, that's
you need competition.
Exactly. So I never want Apple to go away entirely, because they bring a lot of cool stuff to the table.
Probably 3 players would be good.
Yeah,
I think you're going to see 3 major players. Either, and you know what, honestly, I don't know, I feel bad saying this, but I feel like Nokia, it's just too little too late. I think that it's going to be 2 players who are going to enter later in the game, which is Microsoft, and Palm is going to come back next year and try to remake a run at it. And I think those are going to be the 2 who duke it out for that 3rd spot.
But think about next year. What could they possibly do with that phone or with that OS to make a splash big enough to make a dent at that point?
Well, and I mean, we keep ignoring the obvious, which is RIM. Everybody ignores RIM. They're the biggest market share. We always ignore RIM, but it's like RIM holds the largest market share. I mean, just hands down.
Well, we forget
BlackBerry
about
and BlackBerry OS 6 is coming out later this year. Mm-hmm. So I mean, that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
We forget about the non-nerds that live in this world.
Right.
Yeah.
Who don't care.
Who need their BlackBerries.
Enterprise lock-in is a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is.
Microsoft's still doing okay for that reason alone.
Yep.
And 7's not going to change that at all. Or it's not going to help them.
I have a question for you. Unrelated, but sort of related. Are you concerned at all that Google's going to improve their ad market and just people will stop using yours?
No, I expect them to improve their market. I expect iTunes to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. I think there's always going to be there's always going to be room for somebody on the outside to give better discovery mechanisms. Mm-hmm. If you want to equate this to music, you could never expect iTunes to do all of the great discovery that music does.
Sure. Okay.
Hype Machine is a great example of something that does on the outside, or Extension FM, whatever. Mm-hmm. There's lots of services.
Okay, that's a reasonable answer. Take it.
Yeah, that's very cool. That's always something you have to kind of.
Sure.
There's always a third party that can either improve on quicker or in a more efficient way than a large conglomerate like the Android market or the App Store. So, well, does anybody have any questions? My loyal, happy viewership. Anybody? No, nobody has any. I just want to make sure that that everybody asks what they would like to ask him. All right, I'm going to call it. Ian, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming in studio. We always like to have in studio guests.
Absolutely.
Yep. If anyone out there is watching and you want more information, you want to check out AppStoreHQ, you want to shoot over some questions to Ian and his merry band of developers, you can find AppStoreHQ online at appstorehq.com. And on Twitter, you can find them at AppStoreHQ.
Yeah, if you want to send a direct email, info@appstorehq.com will go directly to us.
Very nice. So if you have any... Yeah, I want to mention this because I saw this today and I was I jumbled it up. If you have an Evo, we're going to get an update on Monday probably. So look for it because I'm pretty excited. That's the word on the streets. Thank you, Mickey, for reminding me of that. So it's about that time. Always so sad. I always feel so sad when it's the end of the show.
Yeah. We'll have one next week, don't worry.
Yeah, there will be one next week, as there always is. It'll be 4th of July weekend.
Really?
So thank you to Ian Sefferman, co-founder of AppStoreHQ. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Jeff Ammons, as always. It's a pleasure.
Yep.
You can find, if you would like to harass and or stalk Jeff Ammons, you may find him on Twitter at Jeff Ammons. If you would like to stalk and or harass, well, no, don't harass Mike.
No, do.
No, please do. You can find him on Twitter at
Valis23.
Valis23.
Yeah.
And you can find me, Ashley Esqueda, on Twitter at Android Ashley, as always. And you can add the show, too, if you want to add the show, because I'm in control of the show Twitter now, which means I'm sure I'll be tweeting all sorts of weird crap. It is TWI_mobile, so this weekend _mobile. So we're still looking for sponsors. Do you love the show? Money to burn? I mean, you want to just throw it at us? Like, contact us. Sponsor thisweekend.com. I will write hilarious advertisement copy for you. Trust me. And we're also still looking for your favorite mobile fanboys on YouTube, Vimeo, anywhere where you can find them. Please send them to us because we would love to see them. And if you're interested in introducing the show, just like our little Android robot did, please send us a 15-second video of you introducing us. Get creative. Use a flip. Use your Evo. You got a front-facing camera. That's right. Make use of it. Do something. And then just email it to us at ashley@thisweekend.com. You can email it right to me. You can email it to me. Yeah, I know. Samsung's I'm sure they've already patented my Samsung lolcat idea. I'm so sad. It'll be a 3D, like, hologram screen with a ceiling cat, like, poke out of the face of it. It'll be great. We have other websites, or we have other shows.
Yep.
Other websites. What am I talking about?
I only have one website.
Thisweekend.com. We have iPad, cloud computing, venture capital, startups, social media, and we now have our big comedy lineup starting at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Sunday. Mm-hmm. It is Kevin Pollak's chat show. And Paul Rudd is going to be the guest this week. Loved him, and I love you, man. I just think he's really funny. He's hilarious. And then comedy and movies. This Week in Comedy, This Week in Movies. Mm-hmm. So if you love Paul Rudd, which who doesn't? And if you love laughing and watching movies, which also who doesn't? You should watch the Comedy Block because it's actually really good. Like I watched it and I was just like, this is pretty hilarious. Like I really love it. So check them out, and we also have This Week in Music coming up, and This Week in Video Games coming up too. So keep your eyes peeled for that, everybody, because they're going to be really cool. You'll see our old friend Michael Ludden.
Yep,
hanging
I saw
around.
him in here shooting the pilot.
Did you?
Yep.
All right, very nice, very nice. Yes, and I just want everyone to know that the Samsung lolcat is always watching you. On behalf of everyone here at This Week in Mobile, I'm Ashley Esqueda. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.